here. J.R. Shepard dives down to the inside, trying to see if he's able to get a little bit of that tack that Brandon Proudfoot has been getting up at the front of the field. 10 laps to go here at Port Royal.
Yeah, definitely not making a huge ground here on Brian. Brian's able to maintain that gap.
It's Justin Morton back into second with J.R. Shepard somehow taking over the lead. I have no idea.
These guys, you see Scott kind of using up all that momentum. Got to enter the corner wide. I expected him to kind of cut back low. See lap car down on the inside. George overshoots the corner. Scott puts that car just where he needs to on the middle. It's going to be a drag race through the kink. Thomas George gets loose. Scott Eckridge has the opportunity to come home with a win right now. Side-by-side drag race.
Oh, wow.
Scott Eckridge, 5/1000ths of a second.
Season finale is a make-or-break moment for many off our championship table. William Hargraves leads the way, looking to be able to capture yet another Dirt Street Stocks crown. But this time, Billy Northcott and Adam Carlisle are not too far behind the reigning champion. One tiny mistake from Hargraves could spell disaster for his championship hopes. Will he make that mistake, or will he survive to claim yet another consecutive title? We will find out soon as we get ready to go racing from the Sprint Car Hall of Fame in Knoxville Speedway. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the season finale of the Bootleg Racing League's Dirt Street Stock Series. My name is DJ Clark, joined in the commentary booth by Austin Belke with our director Ryan Seneca behind the scenes and Lowell Jewell on producing duties here today. And Austin, this has really become the de facto championship deciding round for the last couple of years, but that doesn't mean that Knoxville isn't without its intrigues.
That's right, DJ. And we used to come to this place about the middle of the season. It was pretty much a main staple of one of the tracks you just had to get through the slugfest of a season here in the Bootleg Racing League. But of course, as you alluded to, tonight we're here for the season finale. A champion will be crowned by the end of the night. And boy, from what you said, I mean, we're getting down to it. It's going to be hot and heavy. A lot of people still have a pretty good grasp on that championship trophy.
Yes, they do. And the three to keep an eye on, they're Hargraves, Carlisle, and Northcutt, all in with a mathematical possibility to win the championship. Although with about a 40-point or so lead, Hargraves is the favorite here today. And I think the biggest thing here, if you are the driver of that number 71, Austin, it is all about not making mistakes. Just get to the end of the race, get a good, potentially top 5 finish, and that should be enough.
Yeah, it'll definitely be enough. With a 40-point lead, there's not a lot he doesn't have to do in order to take home the championship crown tonight. This is when you bring in all the calculus nerds, the stats people, finally start to come out from the crowd. I think it should be a pretty easy win for him if he just cruises to victory, but we've seen it time and time again, DJ. It just isn't that simple to come in here and have a smooth, easy day. We've seen before, past champion, almost perennial champion, Brandon Proudfoot, he did make a couple races in the middle of the season, and all these guys continue. It's really hard to get to these feature events here. We've got about 21 people here in this session.
Yeah, we do, and that means that about 2 or 3 drivers going to be going home a little bit early, as there you see drivers out on track right now for the final moments of the practice session here today, but we're ready to move on into qualifying. It'll be a 5-minute event, 4 laps, and well, next season hopefully we'll stop talking about how this is the new thing here in the Bootleg Racing League, but you've got to have 4 clean laps because we take the average of all 4, and Austin, that really and truly puts a lot of pressure on these drivers.
It really does. Gone are the times where you just have to go out there and put down one banger of a lap to put yourself on the pole. Now it's basically like the Indianapolis 500 qualifying, typical USAC stuff. You're going to have 4 laps. You have to go out there, you have to throw down 4 absolute bangers, and if you make any sort of mistake, you hit the wall, you get a 0x. iRacing not only invalidates that lap time, but all the other ones are completely kaputs. You got to line up at the very tail end of the field.
Well, and thankfully here for these drivers, Knoxville not exactly known, especially early on, as being one that you're going to ride up directly near the wall, the cushion, a little bit farther down on the track as we watch Joe Segala indeed working on that sort of mid to low line here. That seems to be probably the best way to go around here in qualifying. I don't think we're going to see too terribly many drivers trying to rip the lip during these 4 laps.
No, I don't expect so either. And honestly, for most of these drivers, all the challenge for right now is going to come down to, do you hit the bottom of the track? You can see one driver all the way up near the top. That's Billy Northcutt. You see a lot of colorful rectangles on the bottom of the screen. You're going to see some green ones and some purple ones and some yellow ones a little bit later on. Mostly 2 rectangles for each driver. The first one, that's Sector 1. That's turns 1 and 2. The second one is Sector 2. That's turns 3 and 4. A purple is the best lap out of any driver in those turns in the session. A green bar means the driver's personal best, and a yellow bar somewhere below both of those. But DJ, you see that berm on the bottom? You can hit that if you want to de-wedge the car just a little bit, helps you rotate. These drivers, though, right now don't really have to worry about that. The only problem is if you de-wedge the car too much, you spin out, you lose control, you get a 2x from iRacing, your qualifying is done.
Yeah, and that's the last thing that these drivers really want to have to deal with here at this point as we ride on board with one of the drivers playing around with that berm, as you mentioned. Now, just for those curious, we won't have any times here until they finish all 4 laps. So that is the way that this will work itself out, is now we've got our first drivers crossing over. It's going to be Dylan Corey up to the top, although he's immediately picked by Robbie Robinson. So it's Robinson, Corey, Wilson, and Hazlip, your top 4 here. Tyler Shattuck, though, going to jump up to the top, and he's immediately pipped by Steve Smiley.
Yeah, look at William Hargraves right now putting down a couple personal bests, couple session bests as well. Oh, look out, the Iceman, Adam Carlisle. He's got a double sector fastest lap. You got that 2 purples right there. William Hargraves is putting down a couple 22.7, so if he can just keep it together, he might jump up to the top. Go ahead. We're still looking at Adam Carlisle here, that blue car. Number 15, he is on an absolute banger of a lap right now. He's flying out there, DJ.
Yes, he is. Billy Northcutt goes up to the top of the charts right now. That is crucial for that championship standing, that Billy's going to be able to take that away here. Carlisle still trying to put in a good time. Jason Best continuing on his good form of qualifying. He's going to qualify in P3, still winning for times from Carlisle, Hayes, Shepard, Hill, Loomis, and Hargraves, but all of them are out on track. We take a look here at J.R. Shepard right now, trying to work a little bit on that low lane as they can. Trying to see what they're going to be able to do here at this point. Let's wait and see if anybody is going to be able to take the 0-0 off the podium. Yes, it's going to be Hargraves up to the top.
And I did not expect for Hargraves' time to fall to Northcutt time to fall to Hargraves just yet. Adam Carlisle, he's been putting down a lot of fast laps. We'll see where that puts him. Yeah, he goes up to the top. He threw down a 22.668, DJ.
That is an absolutely remarkable time there for him. Really, really good stuff. Still waiting for the time here from J.R. Shepard. I think we are just waiting for that time to get here. I don't believe he's had mid-8. Yeah, it should be about where he is. Let's wait and see.
Probably 3rd or 4th.
Oh, and there it is. This is the final
3
corner.
and 4 right here.
Yeah, going through 3 and 4. He's going to come out right now. What can JR put down? Let's see. 3-4. You called it, Austin.
5th. Off by a hair. 5th isn't bad though. Not too bad for J.R. Shepard. That's right where you want to be. You see Billy Northcutt out there. He's still putting down laps. This is just extra practice for him, DJ, just to kind of see what the track's feeling like, and it's just an opportunity to go out there on the track all by yourself. You really get to test some things out.
Yeah, exactly. You really just get to sort of feel how it is, really flirting with the berm. They are almost that over-rotation, as you said, and I think that is going to be not exactly the way here that Billy's going to want to run that line. He's the only driver out doing this here at this point, just trying to gather as much information as he can, although it looks like he's slowing that car down as the checkered flag does indeed fly for qualifying, and that is going to lead us into our first heat race here tonight. Lining up in pole position, crucial here for him as points are awarded all the way throughout this contest. It's going to be Adam Carlisle. Zachary Loomis will be to his outside. Then it'll be Jason Best and Chris Hill, Dylan Corey and John Wilson, and Mike Mennies will round out the back of this 7-car heat. And crucially here, Austin, top 2 move on. Everybody else got to go on to those consolation races.
Yeah, it's not all over for the guys that don't automatically advance. They still get one more opportunity, but it's a lot easier on, just your stress levels, your anxiety, and your mind if you can just go ahead and punch your ticket in the feature event right away. Crucially, though, for the Iceman, Adam Carlisle, the number 15 car, he maximized the amount of points he's going to get in qualifying. That's a huge boost for him. That's a momentum center, and it should also just a little bit eat into the lead that the current championship point leader has. So I like Adam's, his role so far. We'll see if he can keep it going.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he can indeed keep it going. We're going to have to be doing some feverish math here behind the scenes to figure out exactly how this championship will work itself out. Right now, Carlisle in a bit of the catbird seat. Now remember, both in the heat races, the consolation races, and the 40-lap feature event, drivers, leaders in particular, do have lane choice here. So it'll be interesting to see what Adam decides to do, but I've got to think he's probably going to opt to stick down on that low side. That's probably the way to go here early on.
I think so, yeah. I mean, basically, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. You can straighten out the corners, of course, by riding down low. He's going to try to work in that little bit of a berm down there. I think everybody's going to want to go down to the inside almost as soon as they can. So we'll see if Zach can get himself down there and try to hold on to that second place starting position and be one of the 2 drivers to advance into the main feature right off the bat.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he's able to do that as the pace truck lights are out here and we get ready to rack up, stack up, and go racing live from Knoxville Raceway, the sprint car capital of the world. But it's not sprint cars that we have out on the track right now. It is indeed the dirt street stocks as they get ready to get rolling right now. Working their way down through 3 and 4. Pace truck scampering off to the inside, getting control of the field over to Adam Carlisle. Carlisle waits a minute before getting on the loud pedal, and there he goes. That's going to be a good getaway there for the number 15. Looks like Loomis is going to be able to hold on to that second place behind him. Climbing the berm a little bit is Jason Best, looking a little bit aggressive. To his outside, the red number 5 of Chris Hill, trying to put a little bit of pressure onto the 47.
Yeah, Best had to get down to the bottom. He really wanted to make sure he could take advantage of having that area open to him. Whoa, a little bit of contact there between he and the 37 car. He's going to upset the 37 just a bit, but I don't think he's quite got that call down to the inside. Loomis is going to let him have it, though.
Yeah, Loomis got out of it there, gave him that underline.
Oh, and you see Chris Hill climbing the berm.
Yes, I did. Chris Hill almost losing the car. He is fighting tooth and nails here. Maybe a little bit of door banging there between Loomis and Best. They're going to be absolutely perfectly parallel coming out of the corner. Looks like here advantage going to shift over to Jason Best just a little bit down on that low side as they work on lap 3, and that's going to be positioned to the 47.
Yeah, I hate to say we called it, DJ, but again, that inside really playing into the favor of whichever driver is all the way down on the bottom. That's why we saw Jason Best get so aggressive with trying to take that. You look at Paul Loomis, he's trying to do that right now. Just arc the car a little bit straighter off the corner. Tries to get close, but I think he just buzzed that rear axle a little bit too much to get back down to the inside of Best. He's going to try it again, though, in turns 1 and 2.
He is indeed going to try climb the berm quite a bit through 1 and 2, but that wasn't enough to be able to get him to go. Best will hold on to P2. Looks like Chris Hill's trying to flirt a little bit with the outside. Big
look at Loomis!
There.
He is going for broke, man. He says, if I can't get that second spot and automatically advance to the feature, I'm going to be racing in the consolation race anyways.
Yeah, he certainly does, and that has completely gifted the position over to Chris Hill at this point. Hill now trying to work his way forward, and it's a side-by-side battle between the number 6 of Dylan Corey and that green, white, and black machine of Zachary Loomis. Loomis down 3 positions since the drop of the green flag. He looks like he is struggling out here a little bit, Austin.
Yeah, Dylan Corey down at the inside. It should be an easy pass if he just continues to mind his P's and Q's. You see Loomis on the outside. It's going to be quicker for right now. You see the two drivers ahead of Best and Hill. They're entering higher, you might say, but yes, they cut down lower. Does a lot for these cars to have momentum, especially coming up off the corner.
And we've got to jump back up to our leader here, Adam Carlisle, because since the drop the green flag, he has led, and he will take victory in heat number 1. Jason Best, putting on a good clinic, will take P2, and it looks like Loomis will hold on to P4 there by the merest of margins, just a couple of thousandths of a second there.
That was an incredibly close race all up and down the field there, DJ.
Yeah, it certainly was, as now we work our way here into heat race number 2, and it's going to be William Hargraves with J.R. Shepard in P2. Then it'll be Steve Smiley and Tyler Shattuck, followed by Joe Segala and Bobby Hayes. And then Chris Hazlip will round out that 7-car field. And Austin, from what I've seen here early on, that low line, that is certainly the way to go.
Yeah, that's always how it is at this track, DJ. All the years we've come here, you want to be down on the inside, especially early doors, because that's when you can really take advantage of being down there. If you get to go in single file, yeah, you're going to see guys start to enter a little bit high and then get that car to cut down in the corner just to straighten up the exit as much as possible. These cars don't have all the horsepower as the typical sprint cars that come here, so you really need to maximize all the momentum that you can get.
Yeah, you certainly do, and I would not be surprised here in this second heat race if we do see William Hargraves opting to start on that low side. But what can J.R. Shepard do? J.R., known as a little bit of a bottom feeder, doesn't like to rip the lip, doesn't like to run on the high line a lot of times. He much prefers to be down low. Let's see what he is able to do and if he's able to hold on to that P2 position.
Yeah, I think for J.R. Shepard, as soon as he gets off the green flag there, he's going to hope that there's a gap between William Hargraves and Steve Smiley. He can just kind of slot down in there between those two just to make sure he kind of stops the bleeding and doesn't continue to get freight trained by the bottom line.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of what we saw last time by Zachary Loomis trying to experiment with some lines, and that's what caught him out and made him drop down the order. Hargraves here, though, leading the field around as we get ready to go for our second of 3 heat races here on the night. Pace truck is going to head off down into pit lane, giving control of the field over to the number 71. He's going to get on the loud pedal coming out of 4, and it's another good getaway there for your leader, and it looks like J.R. Shepard is going to be able to do exactly what you talked about, cutting down in front of Steve Smiley and getting himself down to that low line.
Yep, JR did everything he had to do there. Props to him. You saw Steve really try to shove it in there, try to offset that car, just de-wedge it to help him rotate to get back underneath J.R. Shepard. It's just not going to be enough for right now.
No, not going to be enough for now at the moment, but as we watch right now, it's going to be Hargraves up at the front of the field, a little bit farther back. This is a battle between Bobby Hayes and Joe Segala. Segala down to the inside, Hayes trying to work it up low, and up in front of them, a little bit of a battle as well between Smiley and Shattuck.
Yeah, they're still continuing to go at it. William Hargraves still up front. The first 3 cars right now are all single file. The first side-by-side battle we have, this is for 5th, way back in the back of the pack here. These guys slugging it out, DJ, and that's what you're going to have with these guys. You know, as soon as you get side-by-side like that, whoa, look at how much, they're just going to drift all the way up the track.
Yeah, they certainly are, almost looking like throwing an unintentional slider there as they work their way through the corner. Now, as things continue to work their way around, we get ready to take the halfway mark here in this second heat race. It looks like there's a little bit of a move. Tyler Shattuck, who we ride on board with right now in the 037, trying to find something, as that does look like Steve Smiley doing a little bit of that experimentation.
Yeah, just trying to see typical dirt track stuff, DJ. You're trying to experiment where all the grip is. As these drivers continue to run this track, the grip is going to start to float around just a little bit. The tack is going to start to move. That tack mean that light brown stuff you can see. That's what all these guys are hunting for. Still riding on board it now, looking from the outside of the car for Shattuck.
Yeah, trying to take a little bit of a look here, but it looks like Smiley's got that locked down for the moment. Hargraves continues to lead by the tune of about 0.7 of a second, make that 0.8 of a second. J.R. Shepard holding on to P2 as they come to the line here to be able to take the white flag. A little bit more movement farther back down in the order, trying to see if anybody's going to be able to get a move, but it looks like it's a pretty single file order here as they go. We keep our eyes on the number 42 of Steve Smiley as he tries to close in on J.R. Shepard, but I think this is going to be too little too late. Smiley tries it up on the high line, see if that's going to help him out a little bit, but that's of no concern to William Hargraves, who's going to come across the start-finish line and take victory with J.R. Shepard in second, both of them automatically advancing.
Smiley, Shattuck, Sagala, the last two drivers to finish in this last heat, going to be Hayes and Haslip. Those two drivers going to have to go to our second chance qualifiers later here in tonight. So not over for them completely, but still, on the outside looking in.
On the outside looking in, and as a reminder, looks like we're going to have about 3 drivers going home a little bit early, but we still have that to play for as the third heat will get going with the third championship contender lining up in pole position. Billy Northcutt in the pole in that 00 machine. Neville Ulf, the Australian, to his outside. Then it's Cody Shaw and Robbie Robinson, Jeremy Aikens and Matt Hoos, and then Jesse Steffes rounds out your 7-car field. Still looking like that lone line is the way to go. Austin, are we going to see any sort of crossover on this, or is this just going to be a battle of the bottom feeders all night long?
No, it shouldn't be a battle of the bottom feeders all night long. It's going to continue. These guys are going to continue to run the bottom until you see that slick right there. That's where there's not a whole lot of grip. These guys are going to either have to go to the inside or the outside of that. At some point, all that area is going to get slick, and you're going to see them basically just march a little bit further and further up the track. How far they'll get, it still remains to be seen. I'm not too certain of how far they'll get up there, but you're going to see some of the guys Proudfoot was always really good at, just able to just barely just nip at that bottom. Perfect bottom feeder mentality, just right by that berm there. That's where all the speed is.
Yeah, that's where all that speed is. That's where these drivers are going to have to try to hold themselves down to and try to be able to get themselves going around. Right now, though, it is Billy Northcutt leading this field around to green, waiting to see what he is going to be able to do, if he will be able to keep on going like his compatriots who started in pole position and be able to win a flag-to-flag victory here in the third heat race. Pace truck pulls off down into pit lane, giving control of the field to the 00, and the 00 with Billy Northcutt behind the wheel gets on the loud pedal, and we are racing here in the third heat race. A little bit of side-by-side action. That's Cody Shaw getting a little bit interested, trying to come up on Neville Ulf.
Yeah, Neville wasn't able to tuck back in between Billy Northcutt and Cody Shaw, so he might be hung out to dry here. If I'm Neville right now, I want to make sure I get down to the inside just behind Cody as fast as possible. Make sure I stop that bleeding as best I can. It looks like he's going to be able to do that. Yep, Robbie Robinson not quite able to get to his inside.
No, he's not quite able to get to the inside. It looked like for a second there that Jeremy Aikens was maybe going to have a poke down to the inside, but that didn't play itself out. Ulf now behind the 8 ball here as he drives behind the number 99, trying to find a little bit of space, trying to move himself up forward because those top 2 are the ones that advance. We take a look here on the hood here of Neville Ulf's machine.
Yeah, Neville up trying to see if he can do anything to get to the inside here of Cody Shaw, see if he can't make a peek down there. Basically, all he has to hope for right now is that Cody tries to do something to pass Billy Northcutt, and then he can take advantage of whichever driver loses out over that battle, or that somebody just flat out makes a mistake. Look at him, sending the car in there, trying to charge the entry of that corner. That's going to hurt him more than it helped him.
Yeah, it certainly is. He lost about a car length and a half on that move, but I'll tell you what.
Cody Shaw, he's all over Billy.
Yeah, he got down to the inside on the exit of turn 2. He's going to try to push that out a little bit. Let's see if he does a similar move here down into 3. Looks like he's not quite able to get the line. Coming across that slick stump, I think he lost a little bit of grip, but the gap as they come down to the line right now, let's call it about a car length and a half, 2 car lengths.
Yeah, that was the same thing Neville did on the lap before. Just sent it a little bit too hard in the turns 3 and 4. Lost quite a bit of time. Look at Billy Northcutt, though. He's exiting turns 1 and 2 a little bit higher than we've seen anyone else been doing it this entire session. He's going to be a little bit wide right here. This is going to allow for Cody to catch up to him. Cody's going to have to tighten the wheel just a little bit. You're going to see Billy pull away.
Yeah, he's going to pull away here as the white flag waves in the air for the final heat race of the night. Looks like Shaw's going to continue to try to push there. A little bit of a clobber of the berm, but nothing too big for the number 99. Is he going to have one more look here as they go down into turn 5? It looks like Northcutt's going to be able to roll the momentum. Shaw trying to keep that car down low. That's going to set up for a little bit of a maneuver, but it's not going to be enough as Billy Northcutt will take the victory by about a car length over Cody Shaw.
Neville Wolf, Jeremy Aikens, Robbie Robinson, Matt Who's, Jesse Steffes round out the rest of your 7-car field. That's going to push us all the way now into the last chance qualifiers, DJ. It's time to figure out who goes home and who's on the outside looking in.
Yes, it is. As looks like we have had the grid set here. It's going to be Chris Hill lining up in pole position with Neville Wolf to his outside, Tyler Shattuck and Dylan Corey in the row behind them. Then it's Robbie Robinson, Bobby Hayes, and John Wilson rounding out your 7-car grid. And crucially here, Austin, the number we are looking at is 6. 6 drivers advance on. 1 driver goes home early.
I think right here you're going to see Chris Hill once again start down to the inside. We'll see if Neville Wolf can do anything to kind of stop that bleeding like we saw before. I think, though, he's in a pretty generally safe position right now. He's got a lot of spots to lose before he finds himself on the outside looking in. I think that, you know, if you're Robinson, Corey, Hayes, Wilson, all those guys kind of not really sure what they're going to be doing for the rest of this heat, the rest of this night here. They got to make sure they're on it for the next couple laps.
Yeah, the next 8 laps here as our lap count does increase courtesy of this next round as we continue to work our way around under pacing. It does look like that Chris Hill is going to opt for that low line here. Certainly nothing that surprises us about that. The one surprise to me in this field, though, John Wilson back in 7th place. I would have expected him to be out of the relegation zone. He's going to have a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, usually John's quite a bit stronger than this. I'd look to see him. Normally he's in about 3rd or 4th place for these races. He's won a couple of these too, so I'd like to mention that as well. Big fan of John Wilson myself. This track, though, not one of his strong suits, and of course you just have bad days in racing sometimes. You show up to the same place you've done great at, you just have a really, really poor run, and there's nothing to it, but maybe sometimes it's luck, or maybe he might be feeling a little bit under the weather. We'll just have to see for a moment.
Yeah, we'll have to see indeed, as that's going to be Chris Hill giving a wide berth to the pace truck up in front of him here at this point. Pace truck comes down into the corner, and the number 5 takes control of the field as the green flag flies, and we are racing. And there they go on a good getaway. That looked like a pretty decent jump there for the 037 of Tyler Shattuck, but he lost a little bit of ground as they cycled up through the gears here at this point. Olf trying to challenge a little bit on the front on Chris Hill, but it doesn't look like that's going to play out. A big scrum farther back in the field, though.
Yeah, quite a kerfluffle. I believe that was Dylan Corey going a little bit sideways there. Not quite sure what was going on with that. Just out of frame for myself. Neville Wolf, though, didn't look like he fired off too well. Luckily for him, though, the driver to the inside, Tyler Shattuck, he got just a little bit worse of a restart. But, DJ, this is what I was talking about. These guys are going to continue to walk up the track here. You see guys on the way inside, guys on the outside. Both, the lanes kind of straddling that shiny stuff, the slick, we like to call it. Oh, look at John Wilson.
He is climbing the berm up on the inside. That yellow number 75 does not want to be back in the relegation zone. In contact there between himself and Robbie Robinson, banging doors down the main straightaway and down into turn 1. A little bit of contact there with Bobby Hayes up in front of him. It's a little bit of a ping-pong domino effect.
Yeah, these drivers fighting to be the last one not to cross the finish line, as it were, because we're only going to take 6 of the drivers from this. So the 7th man is the odd one out. Right now, it looks like it's Robbie Robinson, but Robbie, he's a crafty cat. I wouldn't be too surprised to see him pass John Wilson, maybe even Bobby Hayes, too, before the end of this thing.
Yeah, maybe indeed. As we keep our eyes here right now as Chris Hill has continued to lead at the front of the field, although we've got a little bit of a battle starting to shape itself up for P2 right now. Neville Wolf under some pressure here from Tyler Shattuck. Shattuck looking at a little bit of a crossover. He went high, now he's going low. He's going to have that preferred inside line as they dive down into turn 1.
Well, DJ, I hate to say it's the preferred inside line. Look at the slide job he just pulled right there. That should tell you, if you're going to pull a slide job, the inside line is not preferred right now. These guys are going wherever the grip is. You can get it done on top. You can get it done on the bottom. Chris Hill going for a blink in and a blink out.
Yes, he is. A little bit of internet connection issues there for him. We've got a battle now shaping itself up for P3 as Neville Wolf tries to hold off an approach here from Dylan Corey in the number 6. Corey down to the inside, trying to see what he's able to do. They're going to run side by side coming out of turn 3. This battle is certainly on with 2 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, side by side, almost door banging off each other. That's Neville Wolf. He's the driver on the left on the high side. Dylan Corey down on the low side. They're all still scrapping for positions, especially John Wilson and Robbie Robinson, tail end of the field. They're fighting to see which of them is going to be the odd man out, having to go home early.
Yes, exactly. The scraps continue on, but it doesn't look like here that Chris Hill is in too much trouble at the front of the field. But here comes Corey trying to get that position. There is John Wilson really wheeling the car through the slick stuff there, trying to hold off a rebuff from Robbie Robinson. He's going to be able to slide that number 75 right into line and prevent Robinson.
Oh, look at the slide job here from Robinson. He's going to throw the car into the corner. He's going to keep that car down in the tack. It looks like Wilson's going to get a run off the top.
Yes, I think he is, and this is crucial because we're on the white flag lap here as they come down into the corner. This is for all the marbles. This is for who goes home and who moves on. Up at the front of the field, Chris Hill's going to be able to hold on barely over Tyler Shattuck, off Corey Hayes, and Wilson able to hold off the attack there from Robbie Robinson. Robinson has to go home early.
Boy, DJ, I think one more lap, and I don't think we would have seen the 037 car come home in second place. I think that was basically his to win. He just ran out of time there.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there on that, but the action here is not done for the consolation races because we've got one more on the docket. Steve Smiley going to line up in pole position for the B main, followed by Zachary Loomis to his outside. Then it'll be Jeremy Aikens and Joe Segala, Mike Mennies and Matt Hoos, and then Chris Hazlip and Jesse Steffes will round out your 8-car field. And once again, Austin, 6 cars advancing on, so that means 7th and 8th going to be the ones going home a bit early here tonight.
Yeah, it's almost the same old song and dance as the first last chance qualifier, but this time we're going to have 2 guys going home early, having to either pack their stuff up in the trailer in the pits before the race is over or come up in the stands with us and watch the main event.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to see what they're going to do, how they'll be able to take it as we take a look on the field. And it does look like that number 42 of Steve Smiley is going to be opting for the low line. That's where he prefers to be at this point. No change there from really anybody that we've seen over the course of this entire day.
Yeah, boy, DJ, from the broadcast booth's, vantage point over the track especially, you can see right there, looking out through turns 3 and 4, the slick has just continued to grow wider and wider as the night has gone on. So you still either want to be right down there in that light brown stuff, the tack, or way up top on the opposite side of the slick. You can be on both sides of that if you want. You can use that to help yaw the car out, just get it to rotate in the center, but crucially, you still need to have the momentum coming up off the corner.
Well, and that word is going to be one that we are talking about over the course of this entire night, over the course of this B main, and over the course of the A main coming up here in about 10 minutes' time. Momentum, momentum, momentum. That is the key. The driver looking forward here is going to be Steve Smiley as he gets going there, and we have green flag racing here in the B main. It looks like Loomis was caught a little bit off guard by that. That's going to allow for Jeremy Aikens to be able to poke his nose up to the inside. They're going to be side by side coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, Aikens was in the slick, though, not able to get through the corner and off of it quite as good as Loomis was. We'll see if he can mount a charge here through 3 and 4. Look at the run. Loomis is going to get on the high side.
He's making that high side work. We haven't seen it really play itself out yet, but we knew it was going to be a thing here at some point. And now Loomis and your leader, Steve Smiley, flirting with the high side, thinking that is the way to go here at this point. Let's see what they are able to get going. Here they come. Whoa! Mounting the berm, the number 37 of Zachary Loomis. That's going to throw him off a little bit, but he's still able to look like he's got a little bit of a line there over Jeremy Aikens.
Yeah, Jeremy Aikens down on the inside. I feel like the outside is stronger through turns 1 and 2, and the inside is where you want to be in turns 3 and 4. But Aikens is continuing to show these guys how to get it done around the bottom. He continues to just mount that berm just a little bit, help offset the width of his car. Oh, contact between first and second place. Steve Smiley goes for a big old drift in the center of the corner. They're 3 wide for third place.
3 wide for third place as they come down into the corner, almost thinking about trying to make it 4 wide there as they get going. They have got to keep this contained.
Oh, they're 4 wide.
Oh, boy. Somehow they keep it together, but that is Segala, Mennies, and Loomis continuing 3 wide through the rest of the corner. Contact there. That's going to be the 32 of Mennies and Loomis getting pushed out to the outside. That could open up the door a little bit. More contact there in the back as Matt Hoos tried to be able to get a move on Jesse Steffes, but that didn't play itself out.
Jeremy Aikens has got to be loving this, what he's seeing in his rearview mirror. At this point, buddy, I'd rip that thing off. Just keep your eyes forward. They're going to continue to battle behind you. Don't even worry about that. They're just jumping all over each other. DJ, that 4-wide situation, that was almost really bad. I think everybody in this race is really lucky. Either Steve Smiley got a huge run off at 2, or Zach Loomis might have just cracked the throttle a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right now as they dive into turn one. Noah Zark side by side. Smiley and Segala, Loomis and Menes trying to sort themselves out here for the final finishing position. Hoos and Hazlett, by the way, the two drivers that are down into the knockout bracket here at this point. Looks like a little bit of an attempted slider there from Joe Segala, but he thought better of it, as it did look like there that the 42 of Smiley had a little bit of a line. Now as they come down through the corners with 2 laps left to go, checking his momentum a little bit as Zachary Loomis tried to look down to the inside of Segala, but Segala held it well.
Yeah, there wasn't quite enough room down there. That's what you love to see. Well, respect between these drivers. He's talking about that. Steve Smiley goes for a little bit of a slide. Look at Michael Menes all over the track, bounces off of the 42. White flag in the air, though, for leader Jeremy Akins.
Yes, white flag for Akins, and this battle behind him is music to his eyes as they try to work their way through now. A little bit of a high line run here for Steve Smiley. The 81 of Joe Segala, though, holding on to second place position. They're side by side with Menes and Smiley as they come down into the corner right now. That's going to be the 42 of Smiley up on the high side. Menes down low, trying to poke his nose in there as well as Zachary Loomis, but Akins will take victory. Segala closely behind him. Then Menes, Smiley, Loomis, and Steffes advancing on. My goodness, Austin.
Yep, Hoos and Hazlett, the two unfortunate souls that have to go home. And way to go, Joe Segala. That was awesome to see that out of him. He started that race in 4th position, drove up all the way to 2nd place, and that was an absolute slugfest. It was not easy for him. He had to hold on to that spot. I'm quite impressed with what we just saw out of that 81 car.
I am very excited to see that performance out of Joe Segala as well, as now drivers work their way out onto the track for the traditional 5-minute warm-up session that will take place here before our 40-minute heat race, 40-lap heat race rather. And Austin, you know as well as I do, but it is very, very tricky around here, very, very changeable conditions, and this is really a chance for those drivers to get themselves out and work their way around.
That's right, DJ. We've run probably about close to 60 laps, basically, since these guys are out there in qualifying. And if you're one of the drivers that won, one of the first or 2 heat events, you haven't been on this track in maybe close to 80 or so. So it's been quite a while since you've been out there. When you were first out on the track originally, there was basically no slick. It was all tack, and you've seen that slick, kind of start and then grow wider and wider as the race has gone on, as the night has gone on, I should say. So the track is now harder to drive than ever. These guys are out there basically sightseeing as the night goes on. You can see all these drivers, when they first started, they were basically right down there around the berm, and now they're all on the outside of that slick right there. You see Adam Carlisle, maybe that was Cody Shaw actually, all the way up almost against the fence.
Yeah, really flirting with that high line here, and that could be something that we see develop as that cushion gets pushed higher and higher up the track. I think some drivers are going to start experimenting with that a little bit. Obviously, you mentioned earlier, momentum's such a key in these cars, and when you go on that high lane, you don't have to back out of the throttle as much. You're able to keep those revs up a little bit more. It may be a longer distance from point A to point B, but your revs and your momentum stay higher on that high lane.
Yeah, especially on a car with so much limited horsepower, and especially if you're down there on the bottom, you're putting more wheel into the car, and when you want to finally straighten it out and put your foot all the way down on the throttle, you're going to be more apt to spin that rear axle and get the car loose coming up off the corner. So if you can keep your momentum up, keep the revs up, keep the wheel straighter, you're going to be a lot better off than someone who's riding down there on the bottom. Not to say that it can't be done. It can certainly be done, because sometimes there's still tack, there's still grip down there on the bottom. J.R. Shepard, one of the drivers who's right now just trying to test out that viability to see just how doable it is to get it done around the bottom of the racetrack.
Well, that's the thing. You have to keep constantly experimenting and constantly reading this track. It's the reason that Brandon Proudfoot, our multi-time champion, is so good at what he does. He is the master in being able to read track conditions, and that's really what is required here over the course of this 40-minute race, because we do not reset this track. It just continues to wear over the course of the night, and that is really and truly a big, big part of dirt racing.
That's right. Brandon is one of the best guys out there at reading dirt. He can tell where all the grip is. You see one driver out there almost all the way up against the fence. That's old Mr. Iceman, Adam Carlisle. You see a lot of these guys still trying to rip the absolute lip of the track. That's mostly just them kind of being wishful thinkers right now and thinking if they continue to be up there, it'll start to come in. That's Carlisle practicing a slider line.
Yeah, working on that. We could see some sliders getting thrown here. We're going to ride on board with Tyler Shattuck right now. He's playing with that slider line as well, although that one didn't exactly go to plan as he completely missed the cushion there and wound up almost hitting the wall. So that could be a little bit of a hindrance there to Shattuck. He'll hopefully be able to learn from that mistake and keep himself going. There you see Jason Best working his way around just behind Tyler Shattuck. Both of them kind of playing with each other here, figuring out what each other's running.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity to go out on the track, see where you like to run. You can see Jason Best kind of toying with absolutely just demolishing the berm there, going up basically off the track completely to see if he can gain any time that way. It's just a good opportunity to kind of see what the moves are like that you're going to have to make during the race and see where other people are running. See Jason Best, I think he might have damaged his car there with that. DJ, I want to touch on this too. These cars aren't the tanks that they used to be. If you hit the wall just a little bit too hard, you can kind of knock your wheels out of alignment. You might not get yourself a meatball flag and have to come down pit road and repair your car immediately. Of course, these guys do have one fast repair on hand if they need it, but these cars are certainly not as indestructible as they always were.
Yeah, and that is certainly something to keep in mind, and that also goes with a little bit of side-by-side contact, tire-to-tire contact. That can bend the suspension out of place just a little bit unless you're very careful about it. As the checkered flag flies for the warm-up session, and we get ready to go racing for the feature event from Knoxville Raceway here on the Virtual Grip Network. We are excited to be able to bring you this racing action. 40 laps, caution laps rather, do not count, so you are guaranteed a full 40 laps of green flag action. Lining up in pole position is Adam Carlisle. To his outside is your championship leader, William Hargraves, and Billy Northcutt, the third in that championship trifecta, lines up in P3. Jason Best is going to be in P4, followed by J.R. Shepard. Then it's Cody Shaw, Chris Hill, and Jeremy Akins. Tyler Shattuck lines up P9, and Joe Segala will round out your top 10.
Neville Alf is going to roll off in P11, followed by Michael Manise, who starts to his outside in the 12th position. Dylan Corey lines up in 13th, flanked by Steve Smiley, who rolls off in 14th. Starting in 15th is Bobby Hayes. Zach Loomis starts to his outside in 16th, and rounding out the 18-car field is John Wilson and Jesse Steffes in 18th.
All right, 18 cars around here. We talked a little bit about it, about lines, about where to go. Looks like that low line's starting to die out a little bit. Will that be a storyline? Will that be something to watch? But Austin, what are you looking out for here in this feature event?
I'm looking out for when the bottom starts to come back in and the first driver to capitalize on all the speed that's down there. I think the first driver to do that is going to be J.R. Shepard. I think it's going to be crucial for the leader to just kind of maximize where everybody else is running. Typical dirt track stuff, you just run where they're not.
Well, it's like our friend Kenny Kibbe likes to say, you got to drive where they ain't if you want to pack a pass around here. Carlisle, interestingly, going to be starting on the high lane. That just goes to show you how things change around here, as that number 15 is going to be doing what no other driver has done over the course of the night.
Yeah, he's going to be starting up on the outside. Really, it's not too challenging to see because you see all the tack is up there. Basically, the middle of the track is all that shiny stuff, the slick. There's not a whole lot of grip down there. You want to be up just barely above or below it. And, of course, if you're above it for right now, there's a lot more speed to be had.
Yes, there is. So we will see how that plays out for him as the 18-car field brings their way down through turns 3 and 4 right now as the iRacing pace truck scampers off down into pit lane. View of Barney the flag man there as we wait for Carlisle, and there goes the green. We are racing at Knoxville. It's a good getaway there from Adam Carlisle. He's immediately going to go up to that high side, make a little bit of contact with the outside wall, but it's going to be side by side between him and Hargraves as they come out of the corner. Looks like that momentum's going to favor Adam Carlisle here as he continues to work up on the high lane. Hargraves down low.
Yeah, Carlisle completely cleared Hargraves as soon as they made their way off of turn 2. It's really equal, though, in turns 3 and 4. I still think you want to be on the bottom on that end of the track, but boy, in turns 1 and 2, much faster to rip the lip. Look at Adam Carlisle. All the speed, all the momentum. He's going to be able to carry to the outside of the 71 car. I'll be interested to see where these drivers go in turns 3 and 4. Look out for Billy Northcutt. He's going to get a really big run there being down on the bottom.
Yes, he is. Lets the car drift up the track just a little bit as he tries to make a little bit of a maneuver on Hargraves. Hargraves continues to run low. Northcutt running there. J.R. Shepard doing a good job and a good battle there with Jason Best as well, as that's getting a little bit hairy as the top three start to sort themselves out. Let's keep our eyes right here on J.R. Shepard. That battle behind him is between, that is the number 5 of Chris Hill trying to look up to the inside, and Cody Shaw getting interested as well.
Yeah, Cody Shaw and Chris Hill were side by side coming off at turns 1 and 2. You saw just how much, but whoa, look at Cody Shaw hard into the outside wall. Looks like he'll maintain control of that 9 machine. Up towards the front, though, they're still getting really handsy with each other. You see Chris Hill barely gets down to the inside of J.R. Shepard.
Yes, he does in yellow, yellow, yellow. We have a yellow out here at Knoxville on lap 4. Not entirely sure who this was caused by. We'll be able to pull back a replay here in a second. It's sounding like it could be Dylan Corey. That is from our director, Ryan Seneker, so thank you there to him. As we'll jump back to take a look at the replay. Here is Corey in the middle of your screen, that number 6. Oh, contact there with the 42 on the outside. That's Steve Smiley, and that was just a big pile up. Bobby Hayes flipping end over end.
Man, that is a horrific crash there for Bobby Hayes. A couple hard licks there. I feel like that must have just been that 6 car kind of opening the wheel up a little bit too much coming off the corner. And sometimes, DJ, you think, well, he had somebody to his outside. Why would he do that? It's just instinctual. You go to catch the car, you're in a big enough slide coming off the corner. This is really going to be telling of what happened here. This is coming off the corner. Yeah, I feel like even if, he knew the 42 car was going to be out there, but once they make a little bit of netcode contact, it really just kind of demon drags, as we like to call it, the cars together, pulls them together with that netcode, just forced him up into the outside wall. And you could see that Steve in the 42 car kind of saw that coming and just went, you know what, if he's going to wreck himself across my nose, I might as well just try to steer down and avoid it. And that was probably the worst thing he could have done for the 13 car of Bobby Hayes, but I can't really fault that.
Yeah, just trying to save himself there. A little bit of self-preservation coming into play for him, and I've got to agree with you. I can't exactly fault him for that decision as well. As we start to form our way back up around here, lights are out on the iRacing Pace truck, and that means we're going to go back racing here 2x2 once again. Double file restarts in effect for these drivers. Carlisle again going to be opting for the high side, and I don't see why you'd change that, Austin. It worked for him last time. Should work for him this time.
No, I think the high side is still where you want to be through turns 1 and 2. Not a single driver has made a position change since the drop of the green flag in the entire top 6. All those drivers start running now exactly where they started.
Yes, they are, and so that's going to bring everyone else around here as there goes Carlisle getting on the lot pedal. He's going to get a little bit of a better run over Hargraves. Hargraves, again, is going to opt for that low line. He's now going to bring really Northcutt down along with him. Jason Best working on the high lane. J.R. Shepard trying to work low. Best gets a pretty good run. He's going to challenge Billy Northcutt there for P3 as they now dive into 3 and 4.
And Carlisle still going to rip the fence there. Made a little bit of contact with it. I think momentum is going to shift now to William Hargraves. He's going to have the advantage as they cross the start-finish line. Adam Carlisle still going to choose the top, though. Look at Billy Northcutt. He shoved the car into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that comeback to hurt him there a little bit as he went up into that slick stuff that cost him some momentum, and he lost a little bit of ground to Jason Best. Now as we again work our way down in through 3 and 4, the field spreading themselves out. Hargraves down low, Carlisle up high as they come across the start-finish line right now. It's Hargraves there by about a nose and a half, let's say, but good momentum being carried by Adam Carlisle up on that high side.
Man, Cody Shaw, Chris Hill are absolutely just going at it with each other. Kind of the same way that we're seeing Jason Best and Billy Northcutt just continuing to have a slugfest. Look at Chris Hill. He looks to the inside here at J.R. Shepard. J.R. finally tried the high side. They're 3 wide there as they come out of turns 3 and 4.
And I've got to give some credit there to Cody Shaw. I think he recognized that had disaster written all over it in 3 different languages, and he backed out of the corner, but that is going to be positioned up to Hill into P5 as of right now. Still a little bit of blinkage there from the number 99 as they work their way through the corner. 3 wide and 2 wide right in front of them as we start to get ourselves set out here. Oh, careful of the pinch as they come down the main straightaway. That battle between Hill, Shepard, and Shaw continues to be very ferocious.
Yeah, J.R. Shepard, he's got Clowns to the right, Jokers to the left. He's stuck in the middle. Finally gets out of that 3-wide situation. We'll see where all those drivers go for the time being. Adam Carlisle, though, he's going to lose the lead here to William Hargraves. If he can just clear him up the track, not going to be able to.
Not going to be able to do it there at that point, and now we're going to continue to watch Carlisle trying to work his way around. A little bit of contact there with the wall. That'll hurt him a little bit, but he's still able to draw alongside Hargraves as they come down into turn 2 for the moment. Let's see what's able to happen. Don't count out Jason Best there in the 47. He's running a little bit of that middle line, and he looks like he's making it work pretty well.
He's going to clear himself. I'll be curious to see if he takes the top side now that he has the opportunity. He's still going to choose the inside. Adam Carlisle, if he just were to put a couple laps together, he'd be much faster, but he continues. He just ever so slightly kind of put his car on the wall, straightens him out for just a second. He has to then pry that car back off of it and get that thing going back. Whoa, contact between Hill and Northcutt.
And Northcutt around, big contact farther back in the field. Oh my goodness, John Wilson looks
still
like he's involved in it, and that is going to bring out our second yellow on the day.
Boy, that was just two drivers going for the same piece of racetrack there.
Yeah, it certainly was. Let's go back and check out our GSRC replay here at this point. Trying to see what they are able to do. Yeah, Hill sent that into the corner.
Yeah, shoved the car in there on the VGN replay camera. Just nowhere for him or Billy Northcutt to go. And unfortunately for Cody Shaw, he's just kind of caught in the middle of a very bad situation for him. An unfortunate bystander. You see Billy Northcutt, I don't know if he wasn't holding the brakes or it's very hard for these cars to stop, especially on dirt. They pretty much don't do anything but go in a straight line.
Yeah, they do, and that is going to be
into each other.
Yeah, and there you can see the wreckage that just continues on, everybody being collected up on that high side, and that is going to be crucial here for these drivers. Remember, that was Billy Northcutt involved in the championship conversation. His run of bad luck just continuing on here as he is taken out, and unless he has got a magic rabbit in the hat, I think this is championship done for Billy Northcutt.
I mean, he's still got 29 laps before this thing is all said and done. He can come back at it and hope maybe for a top 10. This is looking at it from Joe Segala's point of view. The wreck is just barely up the track. This is, of course, going through turns 1 and 2. The wreck happens at 3 and 4, so you're going to see two cars get together. They're then going to spin up the track. Ryan must have seen something. Look at Joe Segala. Yep, he's just going to whoa the car up for a little bit. Masterclass way to basically pry himself through that wreck there.
Yeah, very, very good job for him to be able to get himself out on that. So kudos to Joe Segala, and that's going to find him currently right now in 16th because
Ryan,
of how
we got
much
a half a lap before they go green. Can we take a look at the points going into this night here?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be close here at this point. There is the points.
So Northcutt was already the man. He was the furthest one out in terms of contention. Of course, we're now going to go back to Green Flag Racing. So now it's still down between Hargraves and Carlisle. 40 points, though.
40 points in between them. Carlisle needs this win, and he needs some bad luck here for Hargraves, but Hargraves hasn't shown that quite yet. As now the field fans their way out through turns 1 and 2. Carlisle again running up on the high side. Jason Best working on a little bit of the middle lane. It's going to be about a car length of advantage here for William Hargraves as they dive down into 3.
Yeah, Carlisle had this win in his hands, had the lead, goes up to the top of the track, goes up a little bit, hits the berm, makes the car go airborne just a little bit. Look at the momentum. He's going to get off of turn 4, DJ, side by side with Hargraves.
Yeah, and crucially there, Hargraves is giving him space. He's not cutting
look out. Michael Meades almost goes out for a spin.
Oh, Minnie's very lucky to be able to hold on to that as Carlisle's got the momentum and he was in the lead going into turn 3.
We'll see if he can hold it, though. This has been his weak spot, though. Bouncing off the wall in turns 3 and 4. He's going to take advantage, though. That extra momentum from that bounce. He's going to continue to have the lead there over Hargraves. We'll see if the 71 car can do anything down there on the bottom.
And we've got another yellow. We have another yellow out on track. I'm not sure who was involved in this one necessarily. It looks like Jesse Steffes was the victim here in this yellow flag on lap 14.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan, for giving us some information there. So that might help out Billy Northcutt just a little bit.
Little bit of a tip there from Joe Segala, and it looks like that
off down there on the inside as well.
Yeah, it is, and it looks like those three just kind of came together, had nowhere to go. Is Northcutt going to be able to get out of that with no damage? Oh.
No, he's going to, oh man, look, he's going to go airborne there for a second, actually climb a couple of cars. Ooh, that's nasty.
That is nasty indeed.
That is a hard lick for him. He'll probably be done after this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised there as Steffes has done as well, as he was upended as well and did a little bit of a helicopter there in midair. Let's take another look at this, Austin. Let's ride on board with Billy Northcutt. I mean, he had nowhere to go. He was just a hapless passenger in this.
Yeah, the sweetheart picture on the dash isn't going to help you right now. Look at him. This is what he saw. You never want to see Sky inside the cockpit of a race car. He's going to come back down, land pretty hard on the track. This will probably be the end for his night. Not seeing too many meatball flags for right now. Looks like all these guys are going to continue to be able to run tonight, although in what condition, it's still to be seen.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the big questions here for these drivers, how those cars are continually to handle. Although at this point, we do not have any retirements from the race. Everybody is sticking in right now and not letting anything go by the wayside. So now we're going to form up again, 2 by 2. And with Carlisle in the lead of the race now, I wonder which lane he's going to choose. Looks like he's going to choose high here. That has been where he has felt the most comfortable over the course of this entire race, it has to be said.
Yeah, I feel like both these drivers really lucked out where Carlisle likes to run the top and he's had the opportunity to restart there, and Hargraves likes the bottom and he's also had the opportunity to restart there. And both these drivers, of course, continue to restart on the front row.
Yes, they do. Hill and Best trying to be able to break up that party if they can, but we'll have to see as the field gets ready to go back to green flag racing here. Carlisle holds him a moment, now gets onto the loud pedal, tries to get a good little jump there on William Hargraves as the green flag flies and they cross over the start-finish line to start working on lap 15. It looks like Jason Best is going to work his way down to the low side here, going to be able to get by Hill.
Top in the 71 car. He's going to carry a lot of momentum here coming off of turn 2. He's going to be able to clear himself from Jason Best. Look at that extra nudge from Hill into Best there.
Yeah, and that's going to now bring Hargraves back down onto the low side to see if he can make that work coming off of the corner, but it looks like the momentum's going to carry on over there for Carlisle. Let's see if Hargraves continues to run high up through 1 and 2. Yes, he does. Looks like the first driver to be down on the low side's the 99 of Cody Shaw, but whoa, shooting the gap there was Jason Best.
Man, J.R. Shepard continues to have to fight in the middle between Cody Shaw and Chris Hill. We'll see what he can do for the rest of this race. I think a lot of these guys, though, really taking advantage of being able to carry the momentum on the high side. I think a couple of them kind of just bouncing off the berm there up top.
And here comes Jason Best. Jason Best with a big old slider cuts off the momentum there of William Hargraves, and that's crucial for the championship. Hargraves trying to fight back here a little bit as they go down into the corner, but Best is going to run up on the high line trying to challenge Carlisle up high here as they go. It looks like Hargraves is going to be able to get that position back, but Best has put him on notice.
Yeah, Carlisle got in the wall just a little bit, really straightened him out, kind of burdened his momentum there. Look at the run. Carlisle's going to get off of turn 2, going to pull even with Hargraves. He's going to barely, ever so slightly, just clear him going into 3. Now Carlisle chooses to go to the bottom of the track as well.
Yeah, Carlisle running a little bit of a slider.
He drifted up the track, though. He's going to really spin that rear axle coming up off the corner. That's going to allow Hargraves to get to his inside.
Yes, it is, and Hargraves now able to work down low. Is he going to throw a slider here on the number 15? Yes, he is, but gives him space, checks up his momentum a little bit. Carlisle's going to have to work on the high side.
Look at Jason Best.
Yeah, Best is sitting back in the popcorn position here at this point. He is loving this battle in front of him.
He got a huge head of steam there coming off of turn 2. DJ was worried he was going to make it 3 wide and kind of just upset these guys a little bit. 3 wide still back in the pack between Shaw, Shepard, and Hill. They're 3 wide just behind him. Look at Jason Best. He's going to go all the way down the track riding on board with him. We'll see what he can do with this momentum. Might look for a 3 wide opportunity. Not quite.
Yeah, I decided to check up his momentum there a little bit. He's going to go back up to the high side. Carlisle sends it in deep. A little bit of contact there with the outside line. Yeah, trying to throw a little bit of a slider there to see if that's the fastest way around it. It certainly looks like it is, as he was almost a car length ahead there as they crossed over the stripe.
Adam Carlisle threw the slider in turns 3 and 4. He's going to run all the way around the top in turns 1 and 2. Look at this run from Jason Best, who's thinking about making a run to the outside here. He's going to continue to choose the outside, throws the car in there, kind of more middle approach from him. We'll see if he can get to the outside here, William Hargraves. I don't think he's going to be able to. The inside in turns 3 and 4 is really where that is strong.
Yeah, that's really where it's strong here, as there they come down through the corner, almost 3-4 wide behind them there between
watch
Shepard.
This one from Hargraves. He's going to get a huge run off the corner. Carlisle went in on the bottom and did a slider line all the way up to the top in turns 1 and 2.
All right, here they go. Looks like that's going to be Hargraves down into the inside. Tries to make it work around. He's not going to be able to get the run here at this point. Carlisle will be able to hold on to it. The gap's about a car length as they dive down into 1 and 2. Hargraves looking for a little bit of the slider, but momentum going to carry up to the high side for Carlisle.
Yeah, looking here for Jason Best, just barely behind both these drivers, just kind of looking to drive where they're not. Look at the slide move he's going to pull into turns 3 and 4. They're 3 wide behind him. They're looking at J.R. Shepard all over the shop there with Dylan Corey just behind him. These guys continue to battle. This is just a slugfest for these cars.
Yeah, this is a slugfest right in the middle of a hornet's nest here for these drivers. That's going to be Cody Hill on the outside, making that momentum work. The number 99 of Cody Shaw trying to hold it out. J.R. Shepard now going to shoot the gap onto the outside. Looking down to the inside there is Dylan Corey as they're 3 wide, down into 3 and 4. J.R. Shepard trying to avoid contact there with the number 99 of Cody Shaw. Looks like he's going to be able to do it, and they're 3 wide again.
Yeah, Shepard's going to have the momentum on the high side. Shaw's going to pinch out Corey down on the bottom. Look at this run. JR's going to get off the corner. We'll see if he can make it all the way to the outside of Shaw. He's just barely going to get up there. They're 3 wide down the backstretch. Almost puts JR into the wall.
Almost puts him into the wall, but JR had just enough space. He's going to be able to keep it off of the wall there through 3 and 4, but I'm not sure if he's going to be given the same amount of space here, and indeed, the 99 of Cody Shaw is going to jump up and cover that line off, so good defensive driving. Now, here comes JR to make it 4 wide.
Yeah, there were 4 wide there, entering turns 1 and 2, 3 wide as they come off the corner. J.R. Shepard now back into the middle. He's got Corey just ahead of him, unable to go anywhere with all this momentum. Even if he were to have any, he's going to get a lot going through the corner. Look at the run from Shaw.
Shaw gets a good run up on the high side. He's going to be able to try to get by Dylan Corey by the time they get to the stripe, and indeed he's going to be able to here at this point. 3 wide as they work their way through the corner, and now it looks like that's the number 37 of Zachary Loomis getting back involved in this conversation as well. He is your big mover of the race, by the way, up 9 positions, looking to maybe make that 11 by the conclusion of the next couple of laps.
Yeah, it didn't take Loomis very long to get back up to the front of the field. If you're wondering what's going on in the battle for the race lead and in the battle for the championship, Adam Carlisle's got about a 3/10 of a second lead over William Hargraves. Jason Best about 8/10 of a second behind. And then there's a large margin, almost about 2 seconds from Best back to Chris Hill in 4th place.
Yeah, there he is. So it's a little bit of 2 different battles here going on at this point. By the way, if you're a fan of Billy Northcutt, bad news for the driver of the 00. He has retired from the race here today. Oh, that was a very squirrely run for the 99 of Cody Shaw. He's lucky he kept on to that, and he's lucky nobody else came into contact with him.
Yeah, look at Michael Manise and John Wilson. They're friendly. They're saying, hey, I want to have a good time in this battle up here for a top 5 as well.
Yeah, they certainly are.
Bad news for Shaw there. He's pulling down off the track.
Oh, no, as it looks like he's got some kind of problems there. He's going to bring that car down into pit lane, and maybe a retirement there for the number 99, but we keep our eyes focused on this battle. Chris Hill leads the way in 4th place. Loomis looks like he's going to be able to hold on to P5 for the moment. Corey had to check his momentum up there out of the corner as that car got a little bit sideways.
Yeah, Dylan Corey continues to get some pretty good runs coming off the corner. If you're J.R. Shepard, though, you really got to watch out for Michael Manise on the bottom. He continues to slide up about a foot or 2 going to the corner. Look at John Wilson. He's looking to put some moves on the field.
Yes, he is. Wilson sitting back in the bottom position.
J.R. Shepard almost goes around.
And that was contact with Mike Mennies, and somehow both drivers able to hold on to it and keep going.
Away.
Yeah, I did too. Mennies just came into that corner a little bit too hot, but somehow everybody able to keep things pointed the right way, and we stay green here in Knoxville.
Yeah, he'd been continuing to do that. Of course, if you're J.R. Shepard, you can't really afford to give up that extra 2 feet for him to do that. It's just, racer mentality. You got to run your line and hope that everybody else around you kind of runs their own, doesn't push up the track into you. Up front, and through the field, though, you got Chris Hill barely holding on to the spot. You got Zach Loomis up there. He's making a charge.
Yeah, he certainly is as well. There's Dylan Corey working up on the high side, but we have got to get our attentions back up to the front of the field because we've got a battle for the lead. Hargraves throws a slide job there in front of Carlisle. Carlisle looks for the crossover. They're going to be side by side coming down the backstretch.
Look for a slider here coming out of Carlisle. Going to throw the car down to the inside. We'll see if he keeps it down there. No, he's going to slide the car up top. Hard lick into the wall. That may be suspension damage for him.
Yeah, that is not going to help him, and indeed he's going to lose that position out there to William Hargraves. Hargraves able to take it back now. He makes a little bit of contact with the wall. Jason Best trying to work his way up, trying to get involved in this as well, but Carlisle looks like he's able to diamond off the corner and now runs alongside Hargraves.
Same thing we saw last lap. Look for the 15 to dive down to the bottom. He's going to bring that car all the way up to the top. Blunts off enough speed as to not make hard contact with the wall. Beautiful slide job right there. Look at that for the 71 car to pull another one.
Yeah, looking to see if he's going to do that. Looks like he's sliding up the track, and there, indeed, a perfectly executed slide job, but there's the momentum from the 15, who checks his
tried
momentum.
to pitch him off there.
Yeah, he checked him up, and Carlisle not able to get the move done, and they've got to get worried and working here because there's only 5 laps to go at the stripe.
Hargraves right now still in command of this race. Blunting the momentum right there was a great call for him. Forces Adam Carlisle to just barely be checked up behind him. We'll see if Carlisle can run him down, maybe possibly throw another slide job. Back further in the pack, they're 3 wide though for 4th place. You got Hill on the outside, Loomis in the middle, Dylan Corey down on the bottom.
They're still playing themselves out. J.R. Shepard in the Catbirds position behind this 2 wide between Corey and Loomis as they go down into the corner. It looks like J.R. Shepard hugging onto the tire tracks there of Dylan Corey, working their way through that middle line right now, right through the slick stuff. Here they come. They're still side by side. Corey down low, Loomis up high. A little bit of contact into the wall with the leader of this pack for Chris Hill. Back up at the front of the field, though, the battle continues on right now as there you see Carlisle trying to work it up high.
Look at Hargraves. What a slide job.
Big old slider there from the number 71.
Now watch out for Carlisle right here. He's going to get a lot of momentum. He's going to throw the car down to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Going to pull a slider. Look at Hargraves pull that car down off the wall.
Absolutely remarkable stuff there from Hargraves as they come down into 3 and 4 right now. They'll be coming to the stripe here with 2 laps to go. And my question is, although there's a little bit of wall contact there behind, what can Jason Best do with all of this? We've seen him just kind of lurking in the background. 2 laps to go. Can the 47 do something spectacular here?
I think for right now, all Jason Best needs to do is just kind of wait for one of those guys to have some sort of an inopportune moment for them, kind of lose their momentum, maybe even make a mistake. I don't think there's a whole lot that Jason can do. This is a 4-wide battle for 4th position.
Yeah, you saw Loomis trying to work on Chris Hill there a little bit as the white flag flies from Knoxville. William Hargraves works it around. We continue to focus on the battle right now. Back for P4 as Shepard tries to work down to the inside of Dylan Corey. Your leaders coming out of turn 2. We've got a little bit of side-by-side here back for P2. Here is that move I was predicting from Jason Best as they come down into the line here. The final corner contact into the wall there for Adam Carlisle. Can Best make this maneuver work? No, it's going to be Hargraves with the victory and the championship here at Knoxville.
Adam Carlisle going to come up 1 spot short in both the race and the championship. Fantastic finish for the Iceman. Not where you want to be ideally, but you know what? A debut season running all the races, a fantastic job for him.
Absolutely fantastic to come against some of these veterans like the number 71, who we will be able to talk to here in just a few minutes' time. But before we get to that, as well as the final finishing order, we're going to take a quick break here on the Virtual Grip Network, so do not go anywhere.
Pretty good start there for Justin Anderson in the 73 truck. That's Brian Young to his outside, the number 86 truck.
You could have a bad night for sure and lose that big money. So got to be smart throughout this race. We've still got 113 laps to go here.
Certainly 2-wide battle here between the 89. Whoa, almost contact between the Johnny Benson throwback and the Matt Kenseth throwback, that being Guy L. Brooks in the 71 car on the inside, Brian Young in the 89 car on the high side. That time by, he almost did a pump fake, did Brian Young. He gets a pretty good restart, not quite as good as he did last time by. This time, Blake Trawick is single file right along with Brian.
This is the world's premier online racing simulation. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat from your home computer with the most realistic online motorsports experience you'll find anywhere. Race virtually in the world's biggest events with officially licensed series, cars, and tracks. From the high banks of Daytona to the blistering speeds of Indianapolis, the dirt of Eldora to the world's most legendary road courses. It's all here, and with more than 180,000 people just like you already driving, you'll always have someone to race. Ready to get behind the wheel? Sign up at iRacing.com to get started.
Welcome back to Knoxville Raceway. You just saw William Hargraves take his, I believe, third or fourth championship in a row here, besting Adam Carlisle. Jason Best was able to come onto the podium in P3, followed by Chris Hill, Zachary Loomis, J.R. Shepard, John Wilson, Jeremy Akins, Dylan Corey, and Neville Ulf, who rounds out your top 10.
Bobby Hayes is going to come home in 11th position, followed by Michael Maniz in 12th. Joe Segal in the 81 car finishes in 13th position, followed by Jesse Steffes in 14th. Tyler Shattuck comes home in 15th, followed by Steve Smiley in 16th. Cody Shaw in 17th. Billy Northcutt rounds out the 18-car field.
And that's going to go ahead and lead us into podium interviews. And we start off with your victor, with your championship winner, William Hargraves, back on the top of the step of the podium and up into a championship glory. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, I guess, defending the Thorn.
Well, talk to me a little bit about that race. I mean, it looked like you and Adam Carlisle were absolutely going at it, hammer and tongs.
Yeah, it was pretty wild for sure. I really wanted to stay committed to the bottom, and I tried, and I stayed down there and committed as absolute long as I could. I really didn't want to go up and try and knock that wall down. I was kind of worried. I'm not real sure with this new damage model what is going to happen if you get into it too wrong or whatever. But I went up there. I had to do something to keep up with him there. The top was just getting so fast. So I went up there. I tried chasing him down. I knocked the wall down a couple times there before I finally figured out the line, and once I figured out that line, it was game on. Then for sure I was able to pretty much do whatever I wanted on the racetrack, as long as I was consistent and hit that mark. So it was a lot of fun for sure.
Well, and talk to me about just how much that championship was factoring into your mind. I mean, was your main goal here tonight to just not make any mistakes, or did you want this win?
I was going for the win. I mean, we're here to race weekly and have a great time, and this group of guys that we got is you get a lot of respect out of everybody, and it just makes it so much more fun. I wasn't about to try to ride around and for second for sure. I mean, that's just the first loser, and we all show up to try to get that win, and it was a lot of fun. Adam he gave it everything he had, and actually, I really thought he was going to get me there. Like I said, I stayed committed to the bottom so long, and I figured he had that line just dialed in. But once I was able to figure out how to hit it right, that car was hooked up good.
Well, it hooked up great, and you put on a great show here, and massive congratulations from all of us here at VGN. Who would you like to thank?
I got to start off by thanking you guys for doing the broadcast weekly. You guys do a heck of a job, and I like watching the replays, and when I get a chance to and whatnot, I really appreciate that. I got to thank Lou L for putting this on for us weekly. Without him, this wouldn't happen either, so thanks to him. I got to thank all the guys that participate weekly, that race, just the racers even. Without them, it doesn't happen. It's a great group, and it's tough to find a league that's on this level, so congrats to them guys for doing what they do weekly. I got to thank all my Dirt Panda Racing teammates. I got to thank Melm Electric, Motorsales.com. I got to thank KC Speedworks, Carl Kilgore, for putting us in some fast hot rods when we enter open setup races. I got to thank Viv's Retail Liquor, Wild Bill's Race Designs, and just everybody that watches and supports, and thanks to my family for watching. I know they like to do this on Friday night, and thanks to them, and thank you to you guys.
Well, thank you, William, and once again, a big, big congratulations to you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next season, hopefully.
We'll see you next season. That was your victor here today and reigning champion, William Hargraves. And now it looks like, Austin, you've been able to catch up with P2, Adam Carlisle.
Yep, I got the Iceman sitting next to me here. Adam, you did a phenomenal job to go ahead and qualify on the pole, of course, then led and won in your heat race. You did a phenomenal job up until maybe about lap 20 or so there when you started to trade slide jobs with Hargraves before the end of this race. I knew you had a long shot going into the night, 40 points to make up, and just one night is quite the hefty challenge. But for a while there, it looked like it was going to be a fairy tale ending for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a fun race. I enjoy Knoxville. I was going to commit to the top. I mean, I was going to run the bottom, maybe try to throw some sliders if I could. That's Knoxville. That's the way you race here. My hat's off to William, man. He was consistent. He was fast. He was good, the whole season. Same with Billy. And, a lot of these guys, man, I really do, enjoy racing here. Brandon as well. Brandon clicked off a couple wins this year on, a limited schedule. So, hats off to him, too. A lot of fun, man. I was going for it. I'm going to go take some Advil, I think, after that one.
Yeah, it took a couple of hard licks there into the fence, especially with those slide lines. But, Adam, you carry the momentum, though, in the next season, I assume, with, coming onto the scene, proving yourself to be a competitor at such a high level. And this has got to be a nice momentum builder for next season in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if, the BRL and Lowell, everybody had me back, I'll definitely come back, and run another season for sure. It was unfortunate in this season, we just got caught up in a, couple wrecks that had were no fault of ours. I mean, Zach and I got together at Lima Land there, which is unfortunate, and Brandon lost his steering, and, I got looped at Cedar Lake and then got wrecked at Eldora. So it is what it is. That's why that's why consistency pays off, and William deserves it. He's a good racer, man. I say it all the time. I talk to Billy quite a bit, and I always tell him I always enjoy racing with those two guys. It's definitely a lot of fun.
Well, the off season coming up, you've got about 3 or 4 weeks maybe to go ahead and have your Friday nights off. You got any plans for the 7 o'clock to 8:30 time slot?
No, not really. I mean, my son plays baseball. He pretty much plays year-round, plays a lot indoors in the winter, so that'll probably take up a lot of my time. But once that comes down, then we'll be back to racing.
For sure. Adam, before I let you go, who do you have to thank for your run this season and tonight?
Definitely want to thank the league for allowing me to race, putting this on, Lowell, all the BRL guys. You guys, man, I say it every week. I always enjoy going back and watching and listening to all the commentary, man. You guys do an awesome job. I've run a lot of races over the years, and I really enjoy watching what you guys do in the booth. So, my hat's off to you guys. Well, I definitely want to thank House of Speed, our whole team over there, man. House of Speed's where it's at, especially when it comes to the street stock deal. So, Dylan Hauser, JC Floyd, Chase Barbara, Kyle Jarrett, everybody over there. And that's pretty much it, man. Just thanks for letting me be here, and we'll look forward to the next one.
Always glad to have you. Thank you for coming up here to share your time with us. That's Adam Carlisle. He comes home tonight, P2.
All right, and we have now been able to catch up with P3, Jason Best. It has been a long time coming, my friend, but welcome to the podium.
Thank you.
Talk me through that race. Up one position there, you felt pretty good coming in, good qualifying. Was this just all about everything, kind of the dominoes falling into line for you?
Yeah, I've always liked this track and done pretty good here. It was nice to get up there and run with those front guys. I always like running with Billy and Hargraves and Adam. Haven't had a lot of chance to lately, but yeah, it was fun.
Well, talk to me about those last couple of laps, because it really looked like you were in the catbird seat. Was there a thought going through your head of maybe I could try for a win here?
I was kind of keeping pace with them and trying to set it up, and actually I think I come out of corner 3 and my foot fell off the gas pedal, and then I fell quite a ways back in those last 10 laps I had to make up. But the last 2 I was thinking about maybe throwing a slider, but those guys were getting mid-track and cutting down, and I didn't want to take anybody out, so I was just happy with finishing in the top 3.
Well, I appreciate the sportsmanship, Jason, and I'm so happy to see you up here, my friend, but who makes this possible for you? Who'd you like to thank?
Oh, you guys most of all, and Lowell for putting on the league every year. You guys do an outstanding job. I'm just glad to be part of the BRL league. Everybody in here is so fun to race with and that. And, of course, a couple of my sponsors, Jan's Race Shop, Sticks Plumbing and Heating, Horman Metal Recycling, a couple others. But, yeah, just thank you.
Well, thank you, Jason, and we will see you next season, I'm sure.
Sounds good. Take care, guys.
All right, that was Jason Best, your third-place finisher here tonight. And, folks, that's not only going to wrap up tonight's broadcast, but it's also going to wrap up the championship for us here today. But don't worry, we will be back in the new year. But if you want some more racing action on the Virtual Grip Network, stick around as the Endurance League Events' second annual Endeavor Derby at Iowa Speedway is about to go down here in not too long of a time. So stick around for that. Also, tomorrow night, the BRL Super Late Model Series heads to Five Flags for their season finale. That'll be tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. But on behalf of myself, DJ Clark, as well as my partner here in the booth, Austin Belke, Ryan Seneker, and Lowell Jewell, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the racing action here today. And until we see you on the track, thanks for watching.